Welcome to the service clinic at Low Country Harley-Davidson. I'm Doc Harley. Got an email from Isaac the other day. He was riding his 2012 Sportster, and one of his bolts on his forward controls popped out. Well, it ended his trip early. He got his bike home, and he emailed me that evening saying, Doc, are there certain pieces of hardware on my motorcycle I should be looking at and checking on a regular basis? Well, that's a large area to cover, but I think what we need to talk about today is a thread locker that will prevent or help not have a bolt come out on your long trips. Let's talk about Loctite. Here in America, we use Loctite. Now, I know my friends over across the pond, you have your brand, but over here in America, we use Loctite. And Harley-Davidson, in their service manual, requires Loctite on certain assemblies. I just finished putting this Sportster together. I had to take the clutch basket out and the front sprocket, and on the installation it says, sprocket linking, apply 2 to 3 drops of Loctite Threadlock 262 red on it. All right, let's talk about Loctite. All right, the most common Loctite is 242 and 243, blue. Every garage should have 3 styles of Loctite: purple, blue, and red. Blue is the most common. Blue is used on diameters from 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch, all right? It is the type of Loctite that helps to thread lock 2 items together, but you're able to take it apart with hand tools, all right? Blue thread lock I use on almost everything that I put together and whatever Harley-Davidson says on a Harley-Davidson, because I'm no scientist, okay, but when you've got a bolt and a nut and they go together, there's air in between those threads. This seals it, all right? In fact, if you have a 1960s, 70s motorcycle and you see rust on both sides, you take it apart and the guy used thread lock, you won't find rust where the thread lock is. It gets rid of that, but it seals in it. What it helps is resist anything coming apart. Blue is awesome to use, but use it sparingly, all right? On this, 1 drop about 3 to 4 threads up from the start. You don't want it at the very beginning because as you're putting it in, it's going to start setting and give you a false torque setting. Put it where it's going to stop, where it's going to end. I start about 3 to 4 threads and putting it in. Just 1 drop. You can overdo it and really have a mess on your hand. But blue Loctite is used almost everywhere on a Harley-Davidson. The next one to talk about, red Loctite. All right, Harley-Davidson says in their manual when to use red Loctite. Do not use this on every common nut and bolt on your Harley-Davidson. Red Loctite is used when you don't want it to come apart, because when it's time to come apart, you have to use extreme heat. And it doesn't melt it, all it does is soften it up so you can use a power tool or something very large and leveraged to take it apart. We use this on front sprockets, we use it on the bolts on the rear pulley, on items that we do not want to come apart. All right, red Loctite, use it sparingly and use it only when necessary in the service manual when they say to. The third one is purple. It's very rare to find, but purple is an amazing thread locker for anything less than 1/4 diameter. I especially like to use it on older V-twins, all right? There is this little plastic piece that holds the stator wires, and there are 2 holes in the cases, and they use a very, very small metal screw to go in. Well, those holes go all the way through the case. This seals and thread locks those little screws into the case. I like this. This can be used on carburetors. I've used it on eyeglass screws, okay? You can use this on almost anything really, really small, and it helps keep it in place. So purple, blue, and red. All right, Isaac, I didn't say which nut and bolt, but when you're working on your motorcycle, have some thread locker with you. Don't know the brand that you have all over the world, but use it sparingly and use it to prevent it from wanting to walk its way out from where it's supposed to be. Hope this helps you, Isaac. I'm Doc Harley. We'll see you next week.